It's cold, bitch. Hello again. I'm wearing clothes because it's cold. I get no views when my shirt's on. You fucking degenerates. Um, how's this beard looking? Everyone says I look good with a beard, which implies that I look better when you can't see my face. Pretty rude, I think. So last night I had a dream. I had a couple dreams. And I think it's important to document your dreams. More important than tell you who I'm not fucking. So, um, I woke up with a name in my head. The name was Hanieh, Hanieh, and I was like, I don't know any Hanieh. And for some reason, instead of googling it, it's a Persian name. Instead of googling it, I typed it into Instagram, and the first thing that comes up is a girl named Hanieh Harati, a Persian girl from Toronto who went viral for abusing her boyfriend. So, definitely my type. Why am I dreaming about that name? Um, the first video I saw, she was like huffing a balloon. Just like the lowest class way to get high. And you just sound stupid. That's how she sounded. What the fuck? How's that fun? You know, I didn't drink till I was 27 because every time I talked to drunk people, I was like, there's no way this is healthy. You sound retarded. Um, so the dream. I believe it or not, I did not dream about an abusive woman, although that is in a way what I dream about. Um, um, so I had a dream where I saw a shooting star, and it was like a few of them, and I was like, "Oh, cool, shooting star! Oh, neat!" And as I watched it, tracked it across the sky, all of a sudden, the entire sky is rockets. Like it wasn't a like that's a fucking Armageddon, basically. Like every single, the entire. Do you remember in the movie 300 when they said our arrows would block out the sun? Like that. And I was like, oh fuck, gotta get underground. And then how like you're fucked anyways. It's like, what does that dream mean? Uh oh, is that a prediction or fucking what? What? Um, so it'll be interesting if something horrific happens soon, like in my life or in the general population or whatever, because I just had a dream about it. Like it's a strange dream. Strange dream. Why not talk about it? Um, I see fire. I don't know the rest of the lyrics of that Ed Sheeran song, but it was from Lord of the Rings, and Kygo did a remix of it. It's good. I don't like that I did that. This means something bad. Apparently, I thought it meant okay, but not in Hollywood. It means you suck the devil's dick to get famous. Now watch I get famous. So I had a friend call me. Friend, acquaintance. I've seen him twice in my life, but he He's at a transition period in his life. He's mid 40s, divorced, um, does well financially, but the job is ending or something, and he has to move to find another job. So he's checking in with me, seeing how I'm doing. I've known him basically since I started in the industry that I'm in. He was like a competitor and then became a friend. So, and he switched industries. What the fuck was that? Um, you know, I had someone look at my AC. I was like, the AC. There was two days this summer. I was like, I could fucking use some cooler air right now, rather than just wait for the sun to go away. And I was like, it's definitely not working. So I was at home. Yeah, I guess I should tell the story. So I was at Home Depot getting a new fan for my bedroom. As I walk in, I run into someone that lives in LA, but he was working on a car close to me, and he's at the Home Depot next to my house. Like, what the fuck are you doing here? Walking basically at the same time. It's like, okay, synchronicity. So like, I figured the guy that he's with I should talk to, and it turns out he just moved from the East Coast, and now he's like a couple streets down. So I was like, oh, interesting. Talking to him, hearing him, I don't think we're gonna be friends, but you never know what. I was like, I listen to synchronicity, you know. Um, I don't know home. This is why I don't go to Costco. You're gonna run into people all the time. So then when I'm leaving, I see my mom pulling into the Costco parking lot, and I have been ignoring my mom because I was mad at her. And again, because of synchronicity, I'm like, what are the odds of this? I mean, she's there probably every day, but still. Um, so I go surprise her. I was with a friend, so I was like, "You want to meet my mom?" Um, and then I see my grandma's in the back seat, so I go to say hi to grandma, and I like try to open the door, but it's locked. And then I gesture for her to open the door, and her eyes are so bad she doesn't. She's like, and then I come in for a hug, and she's like, ugh. And then she says, "Pedram Toi," which means, "Is it you?" And then starts crying hysterically, crying and like shaking because she hasn't seen me in so long. And I feel like such an asshole. Like she's her her entire life, you know what I mean? Like she has nothing to look forward to except seeing her favorite grandchild. Fuck the rest of you. Um, but yeah, I mean, because I was mad at how my setting a boundary with my mom. And then I then neglected my grandma. So I guess that's not a good plan. And then, you know, in Persian culture, you kiss like each cheek, and then if you really want to shine someone on, you kiss 3 times, and it's like, wow. It's like when Japanese people bend, and then it's a yoga move. Like they bend so far that it's they're another zip code. So she kissed me and just kept kissing me. And then she told my friend, she's like, "Nice to meet you. I miss him so much." And then, I mean, fuck. It's weird that someone could love you so much. And then, of course, she's like, "When am I going to see you?" I'm like, "I'll come by, say hi tomorrow." And then I see my brother, and he brought the babies, niece and nephew. And of course, when my grandma sees me, the countdown begins. When are you going to have kids? Like, well, when are you going to die? Because it's going to be after that. I'm not. The runway is very long here. It's not happening anytime soon. It's so important to get, like, I've never met someone that I want to do that with, because I take all of my responsibilities seriously, and bringing in a child that is going to have to overcome the same shit that I had to overcome. No, you have to have all new trauma, not mine, not the cunt mother that I give you. Um, so I won't do it unless I'm with a conscious person, and conscious people aren't around. I don't know if you noticed, but I don't know how to say that in Farsi also. So like, just like, no, should just tell her I'm gay. Um, yeah, I really don't. I was thinking about it. Like, I'm 40 now, 40 years old, but I don't feel 40, and I don't act 40. At least what 40 was when I was a kid. I'm still a cool guy. Just when I see the white hair and the wrinkles, I'm like, fuck, time has passed. But I don't feel physically any slower. I don't feel physically tired. I don't feel like, I still feel like I'm getting better. I still feel like I look better every year. So I don't know what the fuck that's about, like Benjamin Button or something. I looked awkward. I was always fairly good looking, but I didn't know what I was supposed to look like, I guess. So like, I didn't have like a style that I stuck with, or like whatever the fuck. Just kind of like, yeah, let's do this for now. I had a goatee for too long. That was the thing in the like early 2000s, is a goatee. Beard looks way better. Mustache, no matter what year, 1973, 1983, 93, 2003, all the way now, you look like a pedophile rapist. Stop doing mustaches. It's not cool. Unless you're in a folk band and have a ponytail, don't fucking do it. Okay, so let's circle back to the friend who called. So he confides in me that he's lost, and like every conversation I have with anybody, eventually, if it gets long enough, I start to insert the quotes that I know and the shit that I've learned, and how you do anything is how you do everything, right? So I think I'm gonna grow a wizard beard. Thanksgiving's coming up. I'm not gonna shave. Let's see how crazy this can look. It's really just gray on the side. Well, it's just white on the sides and gray in the. Like, it looks like there's no hair here. How does it decide to do that? Anyways, so this guy, divorced, as I said, his dog died. Like, doesn't have purpose. That's everybody, right? No purpose. What am I here for? Why am I here? What am I doing? Everything is just some form of numbing, because we don't know what direction to go. We collectively, people. So he asked me for book recommendations, and then he sent me a picture like the next day, and he like ran through the book. He was like, it's a little bit repetitive, but I get it. Good message. And then I was like, okay, because like there's a lot of people that like, for instance, I was at a Friendsgiving, and there was a girl there who is having a fucking absolute panic attack. So she's confided in me and stuff before. I don't like. I'm glad people feel, regardless of how much of an asshole persona I carry, that people feel comfortable sharing their deep inner thoughts and stuff. Like that's what I'm here for. Like I don't want to have surface level conversations, boring and meaningless. So if like tell me who are you, what's going on, let's get to it. So she says, for the first time in her life, she's obsessed with a guy. She's in her 30s and I believe still a virgin. Maybe, I don't know, honestly. Sorry, I was reading a text. So she said they have a connection, they work together, he was very flirty and blah, blah, blah. And she's like, I haven't heard from him all day and I'm looking at my phone and I'm freaking out. And what do I do? And then, did I ruin it? Am I not good enough? Am I ugly? Am I? And it's like, bro, calm down. I was like, all right, tell me what's going on. So after like framing all of this in a way where she's innocent party and someone's taking advantage of her or some shit, not necessarily take advantage of, but something along those lines, she says that he asked her to go on a date and she said no, and then is now upset that he's not messaging her. I was like, what? If I asked someone out, they said no, I would delete their number. How are you like a victim here? It's like you and I explain that if God gave you the perfect person, you'd fuck it up because you're not ready. You have work to do, and like you're looking for external validation and this fucking everything I've ever learned. I'm trying to like download to her, and then I say something about like her taking responsibility and having to learn, and she just the tears start welling up. It's like, ugh, like I do feel a great deal of empathy for everyone who suffers emotionally. But there are certain people that are perpetually like, how do you shoot your foot off and then complain that you're limping? We're all, again, I suppose we're all doing that to some degree. But like, what's the plan here? When are you gonna not do that? I was like, what? Okay, so like, what's wrong with you reaching out to him? Oh, I'm not gonna do that. Maybe tomorrow. Sorry, don't fucking complain then. The fuck? Like, you want to be here. Don't tell anybody anymore. You want to be here. You suffer in silence. You go through all the thoughts and whatever, and you figure it out. Don't tell anybody because you sound fucking crazy. So if I give someone advice, I expect it to land like it lands to her, which is like, oh, I have to do something. I'm not going to do that. I just want you to listen to me be a victim. Why did that person stop talking to me? I was like, maybe you were a cunt. Do you think about that? So when this guy sends me the book, he read through the book, I was like, oh, okay, I'll send you a link. And then he watches it immediately. And he's like, this stuff is easier to digest when you watch it than read it. It's like, yes. Cool, dude. So he asked what helped me. And I talked about how this guy I used to follow on social media or whatever the fuck on YouTube says that narcissism is the key to higher understanding because that's the maximum. There's nowhere for your ego to go. That's maximum. So it's the step right before a breakthrough is maximum ego. So your ego forms when there's trauma, The difference between a narcissist and an empath is how they dealt with the trauma. They have the same raw material. One goes left, one goes right. So the empath relives their trauma with other people, overextends, recreates their trauma, is always at an energy deficit, tries to help others, empathizes with others, can put themselves in another person's shoe. And the problem is, a lot of people will never acknowledge that, nor do they have the ability to do that. So you end up, if you don't know what to do with your energy, you get used and discarded usually. So the narcissist, same core wound, it's the same cut that you're healing from. And the narcissist does a thing where, in their disassociative process, they create this ideal version of themselves that they wish they could be. This mask that they wear to the outside world. I need to be seen like this. And everything that they form around their life is around this fake persona. I should be a princess. I should be married to a prince and move into a castle, because that's who I am. There's one thing about manifesting, but also like you are what you do, not what you say you do. You know, it's like who you are is what you're doing when no one's looking. Not like the universe doesn't give a fuck what your social media looks like. I mean, it probably does actually, but it's the content of your character is written on your heart. You can't fake that. So, the narcissist, which this friend admitted that he is one, and I would have, like, that was my read as well. So, nice guy, and he's never taken advantage of me, and he's always been super thankful of me helping him out when he was going through a hard time. We were in business together briefly, and I was in business with someone. We basically got like some pocket money from an investor to work on something. I don't want to give details, but he had lost his job and he was struggling, and we were supposed to do a presentation, PowerPoint presentation to an investor, and we needed to get suits to look professional. And I was in the East Coast, so I didn't bring any didn't have that plan before going out there, so I had to like make a SWOT analysis and fucking all this other bullshit to prepare a PowerPoint presentation for an investor to basically buy our idea. And then while me and a friend from here were shopping for our suits, I was like, after we buy the suit, I'm going to give the rest of the money to this guy. And my friend was like, no, we deserve this money. We're getting paid for what we're doing. I was like, you can do. He was trying to convince me to like not do it. Of course, because if I do it, he has to do it. And he was telling me like, no, we don't. I was like, you can do whatever you want with your money. I'm giving mine to him. Like, I'll be okay regardless. And I didn't have any money at the time, by the way. I was fucking broke because this fucking other guy was spending it. So, this guy remembers me doing that. This guy like, he's like, no one's ever done anything like that for me. And we're nothing alike. And now that we're not in similar industry, well, we're in a similar industry, I suppose, but like we don't have any way to work together. Don't hear from him maybe for years at a time, but interesting that like when he's going through something, he instinctively thought to reach out to me. So everything, like no such thing as a coincidence. So when something's in front of me, I always think that the universe is putting me somewhere because it needs me to do something. Someone needs to hear what I have to say. Someone needs my help, my energy, whatever the fuck. And I don't ask questions. I just fucking, I'm here for it. You set them up, I'll knock them down. Whatever you need. Whatever you need, I'm your Huckleberry. God's in here, actually, not out there. Just in me, not in you. Fuck you. So, this guy, I tell him the only thing that I can point to that was like a hard, like, you could work your whole life, read every book, go to every seminar, blah, blah, blah. You'll never figure it out. You will never figure it out. You'll never have the release. There's a lot of people that, like, I talked about it, the David Guillaume thing. This lady's like has cancer in her liver, and she's holding on to hatred for her ex-husband. But she said out loud that she forgave her husband. And then when she was prompted, now what are you angry about? She's like, I'm angry at how my son has to grow up without a father. Okay, so you're still mad at your husband, bitch. That's what that means. She's a nice lady, I'm sure, but that's how I talk. So, like, you don't actually release it. Women especially, by the way, but when you don't release it and you just carry on and you, like, block it out, I'm not going to address it because that scares me. You're in fucking dangerous territory. That's a fucking crazy way to live. Because your nervous system is wound tight and it's about to explode constantly. And you'll notice people that are holding onto this shit can't regulate their emotions because they're every glimpse of happiness they get is temporary because a bomb's about to go off. Temporary relief only. Because there's an entire lifetime of shit that you haven't dealt with. And surprise, you're the problem. And with a ego the size of Texas, you will never, ever, ever, your entire life, figure the shit out. So this guy, self-proclaimed narcissist, in my experience, I would have said narcissist. Nice guy still, but narcissist. I asked him, like, do you think that... He's like, oh, definitely. Which is usually, I guess, a narcissist would disagree with, but either he felt vulnerable or he's old enough to be like, this is how I've lived, whatever. So he does a hero dose of mushrooms. Surprise. He calls me after, which is, if anybody I know does this and calls me after, like, I'd love to hear your experience. Like, it's so exciting for me to hear, because it's the same shit every time. Oh my God. Like, he was in the fetal position when he called me. He's like, I cried. I figured out stuff with my parents. I figured out, like, stuff with my ex. It's like everything that was stuck in here and in here is fucking all of a sudden out. It's like, of course you cry, or you're like, he's like, he said it was the best experience of his life. So listening to him describe, like, I don't know what do I do now? Because, like, you see and you feel, it's the first time you get rid of all the fucking shit you're holding on to. You ever go into a hoarder's house or see that show Hoarders? It's like, what the fuck is this? Why do you have antlers? You're not going to use these antlers. Are you fucking yourself with it? Because if you're not, get rid of the fucking antlers. Everything has a story and everything. No, that's part of me. It's like, fuck. Every piece of shit you step on becomes part of you. You gotta let stuff go. And I don't know what's a better... It's the best hard reset known to man. It comes out of the ground. It's fucking supposed to do that to you. So I cautioned him as I do. It's like, you should not do this again. I told him the same shit about Alan Watts saying psychedelics can get you in touch with the divine, but it's good that when you get the message, you hang up the phone. So, great job. There's a lot of work to do still. Don't do this again. And he's like, oh, no. I would never, but maybe once a year as maintenance. Good job. So, the best therapy in the world is you. Like, really, like a good therapist just tells you, just listens to you and lets you figure it out. But in here, you have everything figured out anyways, but you're at odds with yourself. You're like, especially women, because women are connected spirit. Like, you bring a fucking life into this world. You're obviously connected to the spiritual world. When they're disconnected from themselves, the intuition is blocked because of, you name it, pharmaceuticals, caffeine, fucking childhood trauma, every single thing that is busy up here. As long as this is busy, you're not connected. You're not getting downloads. You're not fucking figuring shit out. Men and women. Men, I excuse because we're the ones that go to war. We're supposed to be ready to fight or defend or kill someone, really. Like, if it came to it, someone breaks in the house, you want to fucking play Uno with him? Like, you as the honest God truth is, like, you have to be able to kill someone in defense. And I'm sure women, because we're at odds with each other, men and women, they don't feel safe or protected, and they're trying to pretend to be men, like have the strength of a man, which just means they're cunty and uncontrollable and rude, like verbally nasty. It's like you're missing the thing. Like, being nasty to someone is not what men do. Like, a strong man is calm. Takes a lot to, you know what I mean? It's weak men that fight and engage in fight. It's a very low vibrational thing. Like, you have to be capable of violence, but you have to know how to cage the beast. Otherwise, you're no different than an animal. So it takes a great deal of inner strength not to resort to violence. Only when you have to, I guess. But hearing how this guy he's like, I haven't talked to my parents in a year, and he was like, it's on me because they're how they are. It's like you see the path to where you want to go is clear. How do I fix that? It's weird that it's all inside you. It's all, your subconscious mind knows all of this shit, and that every human being is running the same software. So, like, I know what worked for me. If I am a human being like you, which I might doubt, we can rewrite the software. How do you do that? Like, honest to God, I don't have any enemies in this world. I don't have any, and there's nobody that I wish death upon. But whoever has, like, I suppose most people I have beef with, it's because their ego's huge. I have a tendency to trigger people with large egos, I guess. You can call me a lot of things, but I am for sure authentic. And people that wear a mask usually don't like that and try to bring me down, I noticed. Um, but regardless of what anyone's ever done to me, it's like if someone was like, hey, can you help? Like, honestly, I have a flat tire or I need $100 or whatever the fuck. Like, there's nobody in the world I would turn down. Nobody in the world. Um, and then if someone was like, yeah, or I imagine the same person or people, they did mushrooms and they want to talk to me about it, I'd be like, what's up? Tell me about it. That's great. Good for you. Did you notice this? Do you feel that? The euphoria feeling, like when you get something off your chest, it's like that you. I was at Mastro's once, steakhouse, and I watched an old lady choking for like 10 minutes. Like, we were like, she's dead. The manager, like, fucking giving their Heimlich. It looked like that scene in Mrs. Doubtfire. And we're like, fuck. We're like, gosh, what do you do? Only one person can give her the Heimlich at a time. And the family, freaking out. It's like, oh my god, what do we do? Do they continue food afterwards? It's like, do we still eat or is dinner over now? She like eventually spit up the food and she's crying and obviously embarrassed. It was just it's like an awful thing to witness. But how that lady felt, not being able to breathe, weirdly, that's you. And imagine taking a deep breath after not being able to breathe your whole life. Oh, like oh my god. Being able to release it. Having had the release, just remembering the release, is like, yeah, you're not taught how to do it. You don't know how to do it. Even me, as much as I read and learn, every day I'm trying to learn something spiritual. Every single day. And I've never experienced anything. Number one thing was mushrooms. Number two thing was forgiveness. Those were the big, like, learning actual forgiveness. And this is how you know if you forgave someone or not. If you still have, like, obviously, resentment can't be present if you forgive. You have to actually love the person who did the thing to you. If you truly, and this is why it's important to have an ego death, because you're so attached to your pain and what that person did to you, or people did to you, or whatever the fuck, that you'll never actually see, like, what created that monster to make them do the thing to you. And when you can actually truly empathize, like, it's like, if I was them, I'd be them. And this happened to them when they were kids, so they don't understand this, and then blah, 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 and actually, like, oh my god, I feel so bad for them. I'm not sure if I said this before, but why not? It's so, like, I guess the closest I thought I was going to be to marrying someone is a friend I had since I was 19 years old. We never dated, we never hooked up until we did, like, after 15 years in. And you date someone to get to know them. And I am sure I've journaled about it. But, like, when you already know them, it's like, okay, do we fucking go ring shopping or not? It's like, we already know each other. We've slept in the same bed many times, Dating is for people to learn. felt weirdly obligated to, but inside my soul did way did not want it, and I didn't understand that at the time. So I thought something's wrong with me, or I could convince myself, or it was impossible. I couldn't move in either direction, but without placing blame on this side or that side, I eventually saw things from a different light. It made me feel like I was being used, taken advantage of, and discarded and not loved. So without condemning them, right? And it took a long time to be able to talk about them. I say them because there's an entire family, without going on a tirade of what terrible people they are and how justified my resentment was. But I was at a wedding, and someone that remains in contact with that ex was like, just in passing, like, oh, something happened. I was like, oh my God, what? And it wasn't like a gossip thing. I was like concerned the way she said it. She's like, oh, nothing. She's just not pregnant. And I was like, okay, so it sounds like she was pregnant and lost the pregnancy. I was like, oh my God, that's awful. Like, I don't want to get involved. Like, don't give my condolences or anything. But like, I realized that I just had concern. I wasn't. What kind of animal would be like, yeah, good, that's what you get. But fucking would have prevented the pregnancy. But I just had concern, just as a human being. And then I was like, wow, time really, like, insane. There's a time in my life I'd be crippled by hearing anything, or by, like, I live close to the family now, so I'm sure I'll run into them at some point. But it's like, thank God I didn't get married. Thank God all that pain happened, because I learned something. I learned like a huge chunk of everything I learned about the universe happened from that pain. Everything I learned about myself happened from that pain. No one can trigger something in you unless you already have the problem. If someone's using you, if someone says something that triggers you, whatever the fuck, like, it all leads to greater understanding of yourself if you let it. Every time you're in pain, it's an invitation to higher consciousness. Every single time. Every single time. Physical or emotional, both. So I keep fucking with this because it feels like there's sandpaper on my bicep. I don't know what the fuck's going on. It's like a rash or something. Feels rough, but I don't see anything. Okay, so this is the first time I've done this. When I'm done with someone, I don't check on their fucking. I don't give a fuck what you're up to, what planet you're on. I'll never look. But I remember the ex's mom went viral for like relationship advice of all things. And I found her Instagram page, and I started scrolling down. Scroll past the blurbs, past blah blah blah, and got to the wedding. My ex's wedding, which is like, we were friends for a long time. I'm sure we both thought that we would be at each other's wedding. And as I was watching the first dance, as I watched the video of her announcing her pregnancy to her mom, like, I was looking at my phone smiling. I like zoomed out of my body, and I was like, wow, look what's happened here. Just with time, you know what I mean? Like, no judgment or resentment or whatever. It was just like happy for them, I guess, that everybody involved. It did feel, and that's maybe I should keep this to myself, but it did feel like she's not happy. Um, call it intuition, but like someone you know that long. I was watching, I was like, this. I don't think this is, I guess, what she planned for herself, maybe. But not my clown, not my circus, you know. Um, but me being able to see the purpose of the pain, the purpose of like, oh, that made me seek this, or that made me change that about myself, or see this about myself. It's like I fucking needed that. I needed that person to hurt me in that way, and it's not them. It's like I allowed the thing to happen. You know what I mean? Like there's some personal responsibility, even with like the stuff that happens to us as kids. We're always like outraged, but like as far as I know it and understand, if you want certain things out of life, wealth, power, status, and this is what I assumed, and Kabbalah confirms that in order to hold a certain amount of success, light, whatever, you have to experience the darkness. The darkness expands the vessels, like your stomach expanding to hold more food. It's like if you want to eat a 4-course meal and fit it all in, like it takes time. Like there has to be, you have to be able to weather the storm, and this universe rewards you for overcoming your obstacles. If you are owned by them, you don't receive the rewards, or if you do, they're short-lived. So if you get to a certain status and lose it, if you get to a certain income and lose it, you have lessons to learn. You've got lessons to learn before you can earn that. So I think I'm pretty sure I talked about it a couple times, but I was talking to someone who was hit by a car, and while they were in a coma, all of their inventory burned. And then I asked her, if God was telling you to change direction, how would it look any different? And she knew that this is what I want to do with my life. I already know. I talked to God about it. It's like, well, when God's talking to you, you seem to be hard to reach. That's why he had to almost kill you. To me, it's like very clear a spiritual warning. Anytime you almost die. And then I was like, all right, like, I'm not going to argue, but this is definitely not how I see it. And then she had called me like a couple weeks later after she got new inventory to say, the place holding my inventory is closing its doors. I need a new place. Can you help? I was like, isn't this another sign that you should be like, maybe it's not find another job, but there's something missing. You seem to be circling the kiddie pool here a while. Maybe you're not ready for the deep end, you know? Maybe there's something you got to do, figure out. Maybe. Will be interesting to see what happens. So another thing is, like, she said she had a near-death experience and talked to God. Like, if you're in a coma for a couple of days, you could have quite a few conversations with God. She just said, he said you could die and it's okay, and you could live and it's okay. It's like, that doesn't sound, that's not the God I know, you know? Doesn't sound like there's a plan. And I know there's a plan. Everything to me says plan. That's why there's guidance. That's why you're in the coma in the first place. But like, would I have come up with this certainty without mushrooms? I would have ever done mushrooms if I wasn't certain I was going to die from kidney disease and having to like figure out how to cure that naturally. So something, it's been a long time since I've taught anything, but there's this story of the farmer and his son, and the farmer falls ill as an old man, and he tells his son, "You're gonna have to run the farm now." And he's like, "I'm too little." It's like, "Well, we don't have a choice." I don't know if it's a good or bad thing. I guess we'll see. And then the son he goes out to the fields, starts plowing the fields, and he didn't strap the horse in correctly, so the horse runs off. He comes and laments to his dad, "Dad, we're fucked." Dad says, "I don't know if it's a good or bad thing. I guess we'll see." The following day, the horse shows up with 50 wild horses. And then the kid locks them in the barn or whatever. And he comes and tells his dad, like, we're rich. We'll never have to farm again. We just breed horses. And the dad, even in the good times, says, "I don't know if it's good or bad. I guess we'll see." And the following day, he's breaking a horse, which means training. I don't know what they talk like that. But he ends up breaking his leg. The son, not the horse. And the son is now bedridden. He can't work, can't train the horses, whatever. And again, dad says, "I don't know if it's good or bad. I guess we'll see." And then a army shows up, recruiting every able-bodied man and boy to go to war. And the old man says, "As you see, I'm old and frail. I'm no use to your army. And as you can see, my son's leg is broken. He's of no use to your army." And then they fuck off and they all die. So, like, given enough time, I've seen everything in my life work like that. Given enough time, every single heartbreak was like, not just heartbreak, hardship in work, in school, in family, every single thing. And that's why the Alchemist became my Bible, is because it made me see that this is how life works. These are all spiritual lessons. Like I said, every time we're in pain, it's an invitation to grow. It's an invitation to learn. It's an invitation to become who you are meant to be. Meant to be. Do you understand the implications of that? That means you're supposed to do something and you're not doing it. You're busy trying to make it in the fucking fake world. It's always pulling the rug out from underneath you. Every time you get a footing, this is what I'm going to do. Oh, fuck. I'm going to do this. I'm going to make this much money. Oops. Money's not worth anything. Oops. Oops, the world shut down because someone fucked a bat or whatever they said. Yeah, every time you think you have a plan, you're a fucking idiot. But if this is a spiritual school, if you're meant to grow as a person, if you're meant to help people, if you're meant to share your story, if you're meant to be an artist, if you're meant to whatever the fuck, and you're not doing it, and you're in the corporate world or you're in the fucking fields, you're only going to have moments of peace, and there will always be a big disruption, and your personal life will be hell. It'll be a revolving door. Friends and lovers will be coming and going and coming and going, and the past comes back and it leaves again, and you'll be sure of the path you're on, and then, oh my God, I was wrong. And I really don't know what can expand your consciousness like one hero trip of mushrooms. But you got to do it responsibly. So the responsible way to do it if you're a control freak like I am, like if I and I don't do any drugs or fucking any substances, I don't have caffeine, I don't have fucking pain medicine. But if I were to do it, especially if you've never done it before, I wouldn't recommend doing it alone because you will freak out. And then even when I do it, you have this wave of anxiety as the transition happens because you feel like you're losing control. It doesn't last very long. It's like you can take a shot of alcohol. It's not pleasant, and then you get to where you're going, right? You're eventually going to have that euphoric feeling. But you got to get past the feeling nauseous and whatever the fuck. This anxiety from being a little bitch. So if you have someone that you trust to just be like, doesn't even have to be in the same room, just be nearby to get you water or give you a blanket or to listen if you want to talk or to just sit there in silence while you close your eyes and go in. I think that's the most responsible way you can do it. Doing it in a group setting is fucking nuts. Going to a shaman is fucking nuts. You don't know who they are, what their intentions are, what they're putting in you or on you. Get the fuck out of here. You don't even know what you're consuming. That's a fucking crazy thing to do. All these fucking like, ayahuasca, it changed my life. You still sound like a cunt. I saw Conor McGregor said that he did some kind of DMT experience, and he's like, I saw Jesus and the Holy Trinity and blah blah blah. And then watch how long it takes for you to see him in an interview on cocaine or at a club dancing with a woman that's not his wife, gritting his teeth. Fucking. Whereas a mushroom trip, I do believe, changes you permanently. Changed me permanently. The reason I know that he's not, I think, he's not doing the work is he's still coming from a place of ego. And if you're imagining God coming down in the form of three things, then you're not doing the inner work. It has to be you realizing you're an asshole. That's step number one. If you haven't gotten there, but I guess we'll see. We shall see. I wish the best for him. He does look like he's on the wrong path, and it's a dangerous path. He could lose everything that he's built. It's very lucky to be in the position he has, and he seems to be squandering it. But isn't that everybody? So my friend who had the awakening said he definitely felt an ego death. He had done mushrooms before and never had the same. He didn't have the same experience that he did. He's like, I measured it wrong. He's like, he knows drugs more than I do. So he's talking about eighths and fuck. I don't know what the fuck's going on there. I don't know what that is. And he said he did like over 5 grams, which I don't really think is a hero dose, but that should be enough. It's like a whole chocolate bar would do it. You know, if you have too much of an edible, you got to go outside and hold onto the grass so you don't fall off the earth, like your head's spinning and you're throwing up and it's terrible. You do too much mushrooms, it just changes. It changes how deep you go. There's no holding onto the grass for dear life. Like, you'll still be back for dinner, you know. I dated this girl, and she she was like, for your birthday, I got you weed popcorn. And I was like, I don't know, how does this work? I assume because it's popcorn, you eat it like popcorn. We're gonna have like a movie night. And I had just tried weed for the first time. So this is I was 35 or 6, 4 or 5 years ago. This is after I got the diagnosis of you're gonna die. So I was like, yeah, if I can, why not? So I was like looking at the bag, trying to figure it out. I was like, I don't get it. So I just started eating popcorn like it's popcorn. I was gonna finish the bag. I was high for 3 days. I was high for 3 days. I couldn't leave. I had to keep looking at my legs to see if I still had legs. I couldn't feel. I couldn't feel anything. I was like, my legs are numb. She's like, what's numb? I was like, I don't speak Vietnamese. And then I go throw up. I try to like sleep it off. I'd like wake up because I feel like I'm falling off the planet. It was a fucking nightmare. I went and like showered after I throw up, shower. And she was recording me. I was like, the serving size is one. So I must have had hundreds. I think one kernel was 5 or 10 milligrams, I assume. Not fun. No mas. I don't like it. But yeah, that was a fucking nightmare. We were supposed to go on, we're supposed to go on a drive the next day, and I couldn't get out of bed. Like I couldn't even be a passenger. Like I couldn't do anything. Worked better than any pain pills, also. Interestingly, but you do become retarded. Whereas mushrooms is the opposite. Like you're turning on parts. They do like MRIs or whatever, people on acid or mushrooms, and it's turning on parts of your brain that are dormant. Your senses get sharper. You can see better. You can see detail and patterns and stuff like this that you don't normally see, but are definitely there. It's interesting what your brain's hiding from you. Very interesting. So I'm always curious um, what people's experience is. It's still like a new thing that we're, at least in this time, that we're trying to figure out what it is and what it can do and all this stuff. So magic. That's why it's called magic mushrooms. Changed my life. Still need a reminder every now and then, you know? Like I'm sure I could have handled boundaries differently than I have. Um, but doing the wrong thing is also part of the path. So if it's the right or wrong thing, the things reveal themselves, anyways, you know? Okay, so I have Thanksgiving coming up. And then the following week, I also have stuff coming up. So it's been a slower month for work. Um, I think that's normal for this time of year, but I'm still comfortable. You know what's interesting is I had new cleaning people come. I didn't want to use like the last cleaner I was using. Um, so I had new cleaning people come. They lost my remote control, and the power in my master bathroom stopped working, all the outlets. And I was like, how do you do that? And I checked the fuses and the GFIs and shit. Like, I'm not stupid. I was like, okay, everything's working. I don't know what the fuck. And then I remembered I heard construction next door. So I messaged the neighbor, and then their contractor contacts me and is like, I promise you your GFI or something, you plugged in too many things. I was like, I haven't had anything plugged in, but maybe when they plug in a vacuum on top of my fucking beard trimmer or something, maybe something happened. So he comes over to check, and he's Persian. And then immediately he's like, are you single? I was like, yeah. He's like, what are you like looking for? Like, what age? I was like younger than me. I don't know, like between 25 and 35 maybe. And he's like, I have 3 daughters. You trying to pimp your daughters out? I was like, nice guy. I mean, I don't know if I want him to be my dad, but like, ask me some questions first. He's like, oh, you're a bodybuilder. I mean, he's standing in my garage looking at my cars, so I guess he's like, oh, this would be nice. But he said all of his daughters are doctors. So yeah, probably wrong direction for me though. Doctor, lawyer. I can't have someone who's asleep in the Matrix. You have to be able to build a new world with me. Not be part of the old one that's dying. You know? Anyways, I thought it was interesting. Usually it's like women who are like, hey, you want my daughter? It's a weird way where the woman is kind of admitting she thinks you're hot and wants to fuck you. And she's like, take mini-me. Is that what he was doing? Alright, well, final public safety announcement. Psychedelics can get you in touch with the divine. But when you get the message, hang up the phone. I hope these come in handy at some point. I really don't know why I'm doing these anymore, but I feel like you could tell my mood is better. Just documenting, fucking going through it. Hopefully this is useful at some point. I don't know. I don't even know if I'll live long enough to see it, but I hope. See you around.